Hi, welcome back to Watch Jelly. It's been a while. My name's Alvin. We have a familiar face on the pod, Wayne. Say hi, everyone, Wayne. So it's been a while. I think, as I've explained to you guys, I've been busy with a personal project of mine for the better part of 7 months, 8 months. And to finally see the project coming to fruition, which is the place that we're shooting at, it happens to be my new humble abode. So as you can see, maybe we'll get to tour it soon enough. But so happy to restart Watch Jelly in 2025. It's something that I personally wanted to do for a while. It's just that we've been bogged down. So what better way to start it than with a series of episodes, or just 2 episodes? Wayne and I will talk about what we most liked in 2024, our acquisitions in 2024 as we've seen, and maybe in the second part, what to look out, what we're expecting in 2025, what to look out for, and yeah, we'll kickstart this proper. So, Wayne, good morning. It's a nice Sunday morning here.
Nice Sunday morning. Thanks for having me in your new place.
Thank you. I also want to thank Wayne for pointing out this listing to me when it was listed, and I was lucky enough to lay the smackdown on the pricing and the offer.
Yeah, you acted quickly.
Yeah, I did. So it's very, very cool. So something's obviously that's one of the milestones. So Wayne, I think before we start on the watches, so how was your 2024?
2024. Time seems to flow differently after COVID. I'm sure all of you might feel that as well. Ever since 2020, the years have been moving more quickly. So it was an eventful year. Lots of travel, lots of work, milestones, lots of obviously various personal challenges that came along the way. But overall, it was a pretty strong year, I would think. Again, both good and bad, ups and downs in the year. But overall, it seems to be a pretty eventful year. I look back at it fondly. Managed to spend a lot of time with people that I care about, and work was fun. All in all. I know most people wouldn't say the same, but all in, it was a pretty eventful year.
Nice. I think for me, as you guys, maybe you guys know, I moved back from Hong Kong about a year back. Let's just say, without getting too sappy or emotional, 2022 was probably one of the toughest years of my life. I think it is the toughest year of my life. It was so tough that let's just say the first few months of 2023 was equally tough, and I spent the rest of 23 recovering and getting my shit back together, for lack of a better term. And through that process of getting my shit back together, I think 2024, I think both you and I, we had some milestones in our careers, some new milestones, which made the agony of 23, I suppose, worth our time going through, worth going through all those challenges for. And I think 2024 was a continuation of that. And then we've got a few pieces to show for it, which means we're still employed. I think this is a good part.
Yes, in this economy, yes.
Yes, and I think we want to just preface by saying that we're very blessed, both of us. So it's just literally we were put in a position to perform and do well in our careers, hopefully. And I think we just we just made use of the opportunity, took the opportunity, and did the best that we could. And these are the pieces that we milked up from this opportunity. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, Wayne, you want to start off with one piece and
yes, I shall start with the shiny one in the room.
Right.
Okay, this is Audemars Piguet 5548. It is the Perpetual calendar. This example is from the late 1980s.
Right.
This is actually a late 2023 acquisition, but I only really started wearing it in 2024. Now, this has significance. Well, firstly, because of you. You introduced me to this watch, I would say a couple of years ago. And I fell in love with it pretty immediately. As we'll see later, there's another example of an AP in this room, but maybe that didn't appeal to me all that much, maybe not yet. But looking back into the archives, I found this gem, and it definitely spoke to me. One, because of obviously how beautiful it looks. It's a beautiful watch. I didn't have a very dressy piece. And speaking of milestones, I needed one for my wedding in 2024. So I needed something appropriate for the theme,
Right.
which is pretty grand, pretty dressed up, very classic. So I thought that a classic dress watch would be nice. But then I wanted a bit of a twist, so having the perpetual calendar complication was quite fun. The first perpetual calendar I've owned, hopefully not the last.
Wow.
Hopefully not the last. But and it's from a brand that I've been intrigued by, but not often attracted to.
Right.
In its current form. But again, going back to the vintages, you find something interesting. So this I came across this more than a year ago in late 23. Agonized over it for several months. It was a pretty good example, in good condition. And on a trip to London, I managed to visit the retailer in person, saw the watch, tried it on, and decided to go ahead with that. So it was more of a chance encounter because getting it imported would have entailed a lot more trouble.
Yep.
So I was lucky to be in the location where it was being sold and made the purchase right then and there.
Yeah, so I think this one was the one, if you look back to our episode, I think from August 23, was it? We talked about if money was no object, what 6 pieces would you own? And this was something that I think you talked about. Obviously, somehow it came up in our conversations. And clearly, you see, he didn't need to reach billionaire status to acquire it. So good to know. Good to know things are rolling around nicely for you, Wayne. Good
Yes,
to know.
thank you. Yeah, it's 1 out of the 6 billionaire watches now.
Yeah.
But again, no need to be a billionaire to get this. I think there's value if you look for it.
Right. Cool. I mean, I don't know how to continue from that. It's a 36mm watch for a guy of his, for a man of his stature. He's what, 6'2"?
Thereabout.
1.88.
88,
Yeah,
yeah,
1.88. 36mm works well for him. So I don't know.
No aversion towards smaller watches.
Yeah.
Like it is smaller, but it holds its presence. It has wrist presence. It looks good in many outfits. I would say don't let the size put you off.
Yeah, for sure. So if we can transition to mine, I suppose.
Yes.
I guess on the topic of APs, so I think we talked about career milestones earlier. I suppose this one was born out of the career milestone from the previous very, very tough year that I had. So I mean, what can I say? The Royal Oak, the Jumbo 15202 is the one that we're talking about on hand. Let's just say that I had a few opportunities between 2017 to 2019 to try to acquire this piece, but the prices were insane back then, and let's just say I wasn't financially able at the time. So seeing that this price went hyperbolic in 21, 22 during COVID, and then after that it came back down to earth. I found a piece that I think this one was produced. I think the manufacture date was 6 to 8 months before the discontinuation happened for the 15202. Before they moved to the 16202, which is the 50th anniversary jumbo. I thought, you know what, I better get this at this price in case I lose the opportunity again. And for a nice example, 6 months before discontinuation, I thought, let's pull the trigger. But I have to say, the process of getting this was super shady because the dealer was based in Singapore locally. He did not have a physical store. And when I met him up for payment, he wanted me to make 3 tranches of payments to different accounts, which was very, very shady. But thankfully, I checked the warranty card. It all made sense. And once the payment was done, I started wearing it for a couple of weeks. I forgot about it. So I've been wearing it quite a lot since. He calls me Professor Oak all the damn time, which is kind of annoying, but it's fine.
It's a good statement, Professor Oak. If you know who he is, it's good association.
Yeah. So this one is quite flashy, but let's just say it's my first Royal Oak. I think pairing it with a career milestone that I had, I think it just made sense. And somehow fate would have it. So it just made sense to get it. So yeah, didn't fight it. Sold a couple other watches at the same time because in order to buy this and pay for this home, let's just say some sacrifices had to be made, and yeah, so we're here with this almost a year ago, I would say. I got it last March or February, so yeah, it's almost a year ago. So
It's beautiful. It's a watch which it works in pretty much any situation, right? Like I've seen you wear it at various occasions with various outfits in various situations, and it always works, right? There is undeniable versatility to the watch, and I have a lot of respect for that. It is again one of the most iconic pieces out there in the watch world, and I'm glad to see you finally got your hands on one.
yeah, thanks. Yeah, still quite ostentatious, to be fair, but I think given that I've wanted it for a while, I think it just made sense. So yeah. So Wayne, tell us about your second piece. This one should be fun. I know this quite well.
Yes, you would know it very personally. I mean, it's one of the sacrifices you had to make, but I'm happy to help you with that sacrifice.
Yeah.
So this is a Rolex Wimbledon.
Right.
You give me the exact reference. I can't remember the number.
126234.
Okay.
Date just 36 in half white gold with a Jubilee bracelet. This is this reference started in 2019. They discontinued the old one with the hidden Jubilee clasp bracelet, upgraded the movement, the dial.
So thank you for entrusting me with this. I
on.
was happy to make the purchase to kind of to help you out with your other purchases.
Dude!
But this was something that I've always had my eyes on.
Yeah.
Right. Like I've been a long-time fan of tennis, and my favorite player, again, not anything new, but it's Roger Federer, and I watched him growing up. So having this Wimbledon is a bit of a kind of a special moment. As we all know, Federer did retire a couple of years ago in 22. I feel like there's been a bit of a gulf in the tennis world ever since then, a bit of a hole that hasn't quite been filled. I love some of the newer, younger players, but I haven't quite found the next player to really throw my support behind. So again, being nostalgic for Roger, I thought that Wimbledon would be a nice way to kind of crystallize that love for tennis and the love for Roger that I've had all these years. I've had the privilege of attending Wimbledon actually in the year I graduated from university in London in 2018. My parents were there with me. They're big fans of tennis as well. It was a wonderful memory that we had that summer of 18 at Wimbledon. So I thought that this has always been one of my kind of my top watches to acquire. This is in the exact configuration that I would have wanted. Again, with the white gold, with the 36mm Jubilee, as well as the fluted bezel in the exact configuration. So it's very lucky that I found someone who had the exact configuration of watch that I wanted, and I went ahead with it. This was a late 2024 purchase for me. The opportunity came up, and I think it's nice to have these two acquisitions in a year of milestones, of career milestones, personal milestones, and for me personally, turning the age of 30, the big 30,
Right.
also a milestone. Younger than you, obviously.
Yeah.
Also a milestone, but having these two to commemorate that is a nice way to remember the year.
And I have to say, somehow both these pieces are connected to me somehow, which is kind of strange.
Well, you are my watch guru.
Your watch muse.
My watch muse in a way, yes.
No, so I have to confess. I know you bought a Jubilee Seiko GMT, and I see you wearing it. I saw you throughout 24 wearing it quite a lot. I thought, wow, you must really like the fact that it's a Jubilee bracelet, and it's different from the usual steel bracelets that we see, or somehow you just want to play it cool and I don't know, wear more low profile watch. I don't know what the deal was. So it's like you must quite like the Jubilee to wear it at the very least. So I was good to know. And the Jubilee the reason why I have to say that I wouldn't have sold this to anybody else. Primarily because originally I really wanted this piece because of the Jubilee bracelet. And somehow exactly a year later, after purchasing this, I was offered the GMT, the Pepsi GMT in Jubilee bracelet, which was sort of to me the pinnacle of Jubilee bracelet watches, and that one has not left my wrist. Every time I put on a Rolex, it's that piece, practically speaking. So because of that, this one found very little wrist time, and I genuinely wanted to keep this because this is like the date just for me. Uh, and the fact that you mentioned, oh, you know, you like Federer, I was like, I never cared that much about tennis. And seeing that, you know, okay, you sort of put it very nicely that you do like Federer, and you it sort of left the uh, what is the term that I should be using? It left a sort of a void in your heart with tennis after that. So and you say you've not watched much of tennis since.
Not since.
Yeah.
And I had the privilege of again seeing him live in London
Right.
during those years when I was there. So you know, not seeing him on TV now, it does kind of give me a bit of a bit sense of nostalgia.
Yeah. So I guess this is what makes perfect sense. At least I know that it's in good hands. Even though it wasn't the most it wasn't the most ideal parting, but it's fine. I think or rather it is the most ideal parting, but I didn't want to part with it to be fair.
Well,
So
I'll make sure you see plenty of it.
yeah. I'll make sure to see it. I'll look up for it in the office. If anything. Yeah. So
All right, and then back to you, Alvin. There's a bit of a monster here on the table. It stands out. It's prominent. Tell us about that.
yeah. So this one it's the second matte one that I got. The first matte one I got from a seller in Hong Kong. The original Friends in the Tribe matte one. I overpaid for that one for sure. Because that one was let's just say I just started, you know, looking at independence more deeply. So I paid a lot for that one. But that one was, while it was very collectible, it was very noteworthy, and the fact that I think barely 500 pieces, 600 pieces were made, really worth collecting. But while wearing it, it wasn't that wearable. I think it was a chunky 18mm, 19mm case, so it really stood out like a it's an abomination basically in the office, especially even with rolled sleeves. It stood up and it's stuck out like a sore eye. And even though, you know, I have a YouTube channel talking about watches, I don't like talking about watches in the office that much. Especially with what I feel uncomfortable talking about what's on my wrist, especially if people point it out. Unless I know person A, person B is enthusiast. Otherwise, it's very strange if random people make comments about watches, my watches, and when money is involved, it always make me feel uncomfortable. So this one, I thought the Matte One Slim was announced. I said, oh shit, this is really nice, and put my name in for the raffle. So this one, I thought, ice blue, blue is my color. Sorry, wait, but blue is my color, and put my name down, and I surprisingly won it. And when I won it, while I was waiting for it to arrive in Singapore by post, there was an Hourglass event just a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, and I met Max Booster from MBNF. Took a photo with him, which was great, and I thanked him for the raffle. It's a really nice piece to wear, and I feel much more at ease putting this on. So this one really just came in, I think, in November last year. So I'm still getting acquainted with this piece, but literally I think in terms of the light blue, it's a really nice touch. I think icy blue has, in the last year or two, has really become its own color, a popular color, even among the APs, Tissot, PRX. So yeah, I think it's a perfect piece to run up the year. And I'm gonna enjoy the wrist time. So somehow the dimensions work very well, and then optically, from a top view, it just looks really nice.
Yes, it's a beautiful watch. Obviously, I think a lot less prominent than your previous iteration. But still, it's very unique. It definitely draws attention. It's a very interesting point of discussion, and you won't find anything else quite like it, I think, in the watch world.
Yeah. So I don't know. So these are literally two watches that I got. I think you also got two yourself.
Yes.
Times are tough, right? I think the prior 3 years, 2023, 22 to 23, sorry, 21 to 23, I averaged about 8 watches per year. 8 new acquisitions per year.
Wow,
that was my 7 or 8 watches per year. That was my average. Obviously, I sold a few since, but that was my average, about 7 to 8 watches per year. So obviously it includes G-Shocks, souvenirs from Japan, I'm sure you did quite well the prior years. I think 23 you bought quite a few.
In the prior years, yes, but I think it's more about the focus on a few really compelling pieces to not blow up the collection in terms of volume,
Yeah.
and really keeping the focus on things that I've eyed for a while.
Yeah.
I try to shy away from impulse purchases.
Right.
So these tend to take a bit of time, of research, a bit of spotting on the market before we finally pull the trigger.
Yeah. Surprisingly, a colleague yesterday asked us, also a watch guy, he casually, I was asking, so what's next on your watch list? Pun intended. I had no answer. We're end of January at this point. I had no answer. It just goes to show, I don't know, maybe I'm paying for that mortgage now, which is making me just abstain from thinking about new acquisitions. Or maybe it's just, as you said, with by the time your collection grows to a certain quantity, you just want to be a bit more selective. And obviously money is finite, finances are finite, you can't be just buying stuff left
And watches are infinite.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we're not Zuckerberg, who's just going on a spree right now. But I think at some point he has to slow down. He's just at his early stages. So I don't think Mark Zuckerberg is watching this, but bro, you continue to buy your watches, but I think in a couple of years you start slowing down. So.
Yeah, it's quite a joy to see him, right? You can
Yeah.
kind of see like it harks back to when we first started getting into watches. There's this excitement.
Yeah.
You want to get out and do the research and find interesting pieces and add a lot of them to your collection. So you do see a bit of that joy and excitement if you look at Zuck's Instagram page and what he's been posting. But obviously, a few years into this collecting journey, the collection looks pretty well-rounded. There's a piece for nearly every occasion. Right now, it's really kind of slowed down. And it's more about doing the research, reading up on interesting pieces out there, and being very thoughtful about the next one.
Agree. So for you guys out there, 2024, who knows? Donald Trump might be a tough year. So I guess the thing to take from this is to limit your impulse purchases and just make more conscious decisions, good decisions on what to purchase for next year. And I think collecting never stops. Who knows? I mean, who knows what happens? Who knows what will happen at Watches and Wonders? Who knows? Yeah, I may look back on this episode and go, yeah.
What were you
saying? I didn't practice what I preach. Yeah. Who knows? That might happen. I don't know. So yeah. So great. So thanks, Wayne, for this episode on 2024. I think we just shared literally some of the milestones that we've had, and I don't know, any closing comments on 2024?
No, I think watches to commemorate milestones and years. I think that's a meaningful purchase. There has, I think it helps to have some meaning attached to these purchases. At the end of the day, no one needs watches for a practical purpose in this day and age. So again, these watches only have value to you personally if you attach a value to it, and it could be a feeling, a sentiment, or a memory, and that's what 2024 was to me.
Great, cool. So we'll run this episode for now, and we'll have part 2 coming up on what to look up for in 2025. So stay tuned. I'll be posting that shortly.